So it's been a year and a half since Nelson Chamisa left the CCC, and let me tell you, the opposition has really been shining since his departure. If you thought there would be a leadership vacuum with Chamisa out of the picture, well, guess what? That vacuum has been filled all right. Filled with an overwhelming sense of nothingness, absolutely nothing, zero, zilch. Not a single opposition leader has dared to step up, speak out, or even take a half-hearted swing at ZANU-PF. It's almost as if they are waiting for a sign, like they need the equivalent of a neon arrow flashing above their heads that says, hey, maybe now it's a good time to be brave. Newsflash, no sign is coming. The only thing that's been flashing is the light from ZANU-PF's monopoly on power. And guess what? They've got no plans to relinquish it. What has the opposition done in the wake of Chamisa's departure? Well, they've done what any self-respecting, power-hungry group of individuals would do. They have sat on their hands, made a few pathetic, toothless suggestions, and then retreated back into the safety of obscurity. Oh, and let's not forget the brilliant political strategy some of them have been touting. Mnangagwa staying in power until 2030. Yes, you heard that right, 2030. And is the opposition supporting it? As if the problem in Zimbabwe is that we are just not giving the man enough time to do the good work he's been doing. We need to extend the suffering. Because why not? Surely the best way to fix a crumbling economy, rampant corruption, and a disillusioned population is to double down on the same old nonsense. These opposition figures are practically begging ZANU-PF to stick around. Maybe they are hoping to get a spot on the gravy train, or perhaps they are just afraid that if they actually oppose Mnangagwa, they will have to do something harder than just, well, doing nothing. And let's talk about the most impressive feat of all. The opposition's incredible ability to criticize Chamisa without offering a single viable alternative. Seriously? Is there anything more satisfying than watching a group of people who can't even organize a protest spend their time tearing down the one guy who actually managed to stir some hope in Zimbabweans? The same people who couldn't organize a decent election campaign if their lives depended on it are now holding masterclasses on how Chamisa was the problem all along. Sure, because the guy who was actually doing something, who was actually fighting for change, is somehow the root of Zimbabwe's woes. If that doesn't scream desperation, I don't know what does. But wait, these opposition leaders aren't just criticizing Chamisa. They are giving us masterpieces of political insight. In fact, every time they open their mouths, they manage to remind us of their complete and utter lack of ideas. No, seriously, if we are to chart out the ideas that these ladies and gentlemen have put forward to fix Zimbabwe, the line would be straight to nowhere. They haven't done a single thing to challenge ZANU-PF. No protest, no strategies, no alternative policies, just empty words and the occasional soundbite on social media. It's almost like watching someone who is too afraid to jump into the pool, but keeps standing at the edge, pointing at the water and saying, I could totally do that if I wanted to. Yeah, sure, you could. Let's be real for a second. Chamisa may have had his flaws, but he was the only one who gave a damn about this country. He was the one who actually did something. He wasn't just sitting around waiting for a free pass or hoping that things would magically improve. ZANU-PF even tried to invite him to be leader of parliament and make it an official parliamentary post. He refused. He got out there, took risks, and challenged ZANU-PF's corruption head-on. But now, after his departure, what do we have? A group of leaders who can't even agree on whether or not to take on ZANU-PF. They are too busy finger pointing, arguing among themselves, and of course criticizing Chamisa for not doing their job for them. Because why bother offering an alternative when you can just sit back and complain, right? You know what's really fascinating? The fact that the opposition has spent so much time attacking Chamisa instead of ZANU-PF, the actual enemy. ZANU-PF is in control of everything. Everything. The military, the economy, the media, you name it. But no, let's focus all our energy on the one guy who tried to fight them. Why? Because it's easier. It's so much easier to point at someone who has already been sidelined and kick them while they are down. But when it comes to time to stand up to Mnangagwa and his cronies, these opposition leaders act like they are allergic to the spotlight. Imagine that. They have spent months blaming Chamisa for everything. Yet, when it's time to step up and provide a real leadership, they are nowhere to be found. Here's the thing, ZANU-PF is loving this. They are absolutely thrilled to watch the opposition implode. It's the perfect setup for them. No competition. A fractured, bickering opposition that can't get its act together means ZANU-PF can continue to tighten its grip on the country. Who needs to actually fight when the opposition is doing all the heavy lifting for them by self-destructing? While the opposition sits around and making excuses, ZANU-PF is out there doing what they do best, controlling everything and making sure no one dares challenge their rule. It's a win-win for Mnangagwa, isn't it? Meanwhile, the people of Zimbabwe are left in the lurch, hoping for a miracle that's never coming. The only thing that's coming is more of the same. More corruption, more stagnation, and more political gamemanship at the expense of the country. If things don't change, and let's be honest, they probably won't, the opposition's legacy will be nothing more than a footnote in Zimbabwe's political history. The only thing they have successfully managed to do is demonstrate how not to run a political movement. Instead of being the voice of the people, they have become a punchline. They have allowed their personal ambitions and infighting to derail any meaningful progress. They have become the sideshow in the tragic circus while ZANU-PF takes center stage. And the audience, Zimbabwe's people, are left to watch in despair. If this is the best the opposition can do, then maybe it's time to admit that they are part of the problem. And you know what? Even ZANU-PF's lapdogs have no one in the opposition to attack anymore. They just resort to attacking the only opposition leader they know, Nelson Chamisa. And this vacuum has actually given an opportunity for a ZANU-PF faction led by Comrade Geza to become the voice of the people. People are now looking up to Geza to be able to remove Mnangagwa, even if it is by replacing him with another ZANU-PF stalwart, Constantino Chiwenga. People are tired of Mnangagwa. They want him gone. But there is no alternative. That is why Chamisa's return is a gift to the people of Zimbabwe. Chamisa says he's starting a movement. We don't know yet how this movement is going to be organized, how this movement is going to be looking like. And we also don't know how it is going to be different from the CCC and the movement for democratic change. We, however, hope that the mistakes that were learned from MDC and MDC Alliance as well as CCC will be taken care of this time around. Is this going to be a movement for a presidential candidate only? Or is it going to be a movement for both parliamentarians and the presidential candidate? If it's going to be a movement for both parliamentarians and the presidential candidate, are they going to rope in the same people that betrayed the CCC to begin with? And for avoidance of doubt, many people think that Chamisa betrayed CCC. Chamisa didn't. Chamisa had no control over the CCC. Chamisa had no alternative except to leave CCC because CCC was poisoned. CCC was no longer under his control. CCC was now being controlled by Mnangagwa. In other words, CCC had become a proxy of ZANU-PF. Even up to now, CCC is still a proxy of ZANU-PF. Every one of those members of parliament that are still in parliament today belong to ZANU-PF. Is Chamisa going to rope them in again as he starts his new movement? Ladies and gentlemen, so where do we go from here? Honestly, it's hard to say, because as long as the opposition is more concerned with blaming Chamisa than actually fixing anything, it's hard to see any real change coming except it is brought by Chamisa himself. But here's the thing, if you are tired of watching this pathetic drama unfold, if you want to see Zimbabwe finally break free from ZANU-PF's chokehold, make sure to hit that subscribe button, because at Zimwaves TV, we are not afraid to tell it like it is. We will keep bringing you the truth no matter how uncomfortable it gets. Stay tuned for more, and don't forget to share this video. The people need to know what's really going on. What do you think though? Is the opposition truly done for? Or is there still hope for change in Zimbabwe? Drop your thoughts in the comments below and let's get a conversation going. And if you are not subscribed yet, now is the time. You don't want to miss the next piece of the puzzle.
Imishuma endai munoita kamuna matoke kupetsisira birika povari kukudana kamuna matoke kupetsisira taneta isu vana veZimbabwe torerwa